You're watching Let's Chat.
I am here today with author Thomas Fellows to talk about his new book, Listen Up, Seek Enough Advice So One Day You'll Be Giving It. What a great title. Thank you so much for coming on, Thomas.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So what inspired this book? What a great title. I'm super interested.
Yes, I would say really three quotes really inspired this book. The first one is by David Brooks when he says, humility is the awareness that there's a lot you don't know, and what you do know is either wrong or distorted. The second one is by Harper Lee when she says, many receive advice, but few profit by it. And Harper Lee, of course, wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. The third one is by Paul Bear Bryant, the famous Alabama football coach, where he says, I'm no innovator, I'm a stealer or a borrower, or I'm no innovator. I've stolen and borrowed more things than I can shake a stick at.
Wow, that's interesting. These are great quotes that I could imagine would make a fantastic book, so it's cool that you put this all together. Talk to me about listening to others and seeking others' opinions. Would that make you a weak or strong person?
Well, it makes you a strong person. If you look at Abraham Lincoln, the best president that the United States has ever had, he would literally walk for miles to get a book. And if you look at Martin Luther King Jr. in his letter from the Birmingham jail, it's so impactful because of the sources he uses, such as Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Socrates. The most successful people say, you know, I can never learn. I know enough to know that I know nothing.
I love your deep knowledge of this, that you can pull this all out. It's in your head. You mentioned a lot of great historical figures. What about in your own life? Did you have a mentor or someone you know that inspired you and helped you become successful and write this book?
Yes, well, it would be Bill McDermott, who's the present-day CEO of ServiceNow. And when many years ago, about 25 years ago, when he was at Xerox as a young manager, he had to go down to Puerto Rico, and the team had finished 64th out of 64th place. And when he went down there, they were expecting him to come with all the answers. Instead, he came with the questions, and he said, hey, what do you think we can do a better job of to become more successful as a team? And because he listened to them, he gave power to them. And the next year, they were first out of 64 teams, and the guy made $165 million 3 years ago at ServiceNow, and he came from a lower middle class. So he truly knows what he's doing, or maybe he doesn't, and because of that, he's been successful.
I love that. So instead of leaving embarrassed that he was in last place, he took that opportunity to ask for advice to improve himself. Why is that so important when maybe you feel like your pride is keeping you from seeking advice? It's maybe the time to lean in and ask for advice.
Exactly, for sure.
Talk to me more about that and maybe advice you could give people having written this book if people love motivational info.
Well, I would say the reason why I've been successful the last few years, I've been on TV more than any American in the last 3.25 years, it's because I downplay my own intelligence and think people are smarter than me. I have a mentor of mine named Nick Zitzen who said, never think of yourself as the smartest person in the room. I thought of myself as the dumbest person in the room. And as a result, I'm always getting knowledge. And as they say, knowledge is power.
And now here you are with a book and now giving the gift you've been given to teach other people. Is that right?
Exactly. I literally am always reaching out for advice. I've asked a homeless man for romantic advice.
Oh,
I still
really?
I still need some. I haven't dated anybody in 11 years,
you're
by the
funny.
way.
Well, it'll change after this interview.
What's that?
We'll get a lot of calls in after this interview from some interested people.
Well, you know, even when I was 25 years old and studying for the GMAT, I got help from somebody in high school. So again, you can't only learn from the old, you can learn also from the young.
I love that, Thomas. Thank you for coming on. How can we get this great book?
on Amazon and also at Barnes & Noble. Thanks so much for having me.
And I have the fellows.com, thfellows.com to follow you. A very interesting guy with really good advice. Thank you again for coming on, Thomas. Go check out his book. You bet. Listen up, seek enough advice so one day you'll be giving it. Great interview. Find out how this great advice can benefit you. thfellows.com.